Don't crash. Don't crash. Ooh, it didn't crash. Whoop, whoop. I've been having OBS problems. Not IBS problems, OBS problems. It's Thursday, July 18th. So, if you're tuning in, hopefully your portfolio did better than mine yesterday. I'm hoping. Because mine got pummeled. Just destroyed. And I know I'm on early. We got jobs numbers coming out. But jobs numbers aren't what they used to be. Let's see. I've got, just so you know, I've got to build this chart too. I'm going to go into Seeking Alpha. And we're going to build a chart of, let's see, XLG versus IWC. XLG, you know, is one of my favorite ETFs. It's more than Lewis. And IWC is, let's see, we're going to shut that down and we're going to say IWC. It's micro caps. So we're going to look at year to date of this one. And that's where you're seeing whoop, whoop, voila. You're seeing whoop. Okay, so I'm going to download. Oh, I don't care about downloading, to be honest with you. It'll post it, but we'll just copy the link here. Let's see. Did this have a link? I already freaking had a link. Yeah, I already had a link. Oh, that's just that one. Okay. We're going to take away that. And there we go. Okay. Morning, Sean. Let me get YouTube up on my camera covered. FU. I gotta get YouTube up on my. There's the puppy outside. Okay, hit that thumbs up button. It's hot in here. I got some rants. I got some things going on. We've got the VIX was up. Josh Brown quote, 7 advancers to 5 decliners yesterday. It was last Thursday again. VXF, Vanguard ETF that holds up against the entire market. That's another chart that we've got to do. VXF against the S&P. You know, let's select symbols. We're going to trash the S&P. We're going to do VOO. We're going to do QQQ. And we're going to do DIA, I guess. I guess that's a good one. So what you're seeing is VXF and DIA are still down here. And these two are coming down. So that's a good chart to show as well. So we're going to show that one. to show the VIX. Sorry, I'm putting together the whole thing right now just because I figured I'd come on early. Let's go to the VIX and we'll show the chart. We're going to show that. I got Josh Brown. I'm not making it political. We got Gene Munster. We got XLG versus IWC. Fundstrat. There is a video that Fundstrat posted last night that says the 40% rally. 40% rally in the IWM over the next 10 weeks. Then we have another call. Morning Lane. New Palantir price target. Waste Management killed it yesterday. You know what? I do want to see. Let's see. Top stocks. We're going to do performance. I do want to advance filters. Market cap. We're going to do edit filters. We're going to do quant. Yeah, we're going to do that. Strong buy, strong buy, strong buy. Quant factors, growth. I don't care about growth. Market cap, I want more than 10 billion. We'll do more than. We'll do 100 billion. We'll exclude these. And we don't care. I don't know why it's not finding anything. I guess it's, yeah. No. We're just going to go back to top stocks. Top ETFs. Top dividend, top growth, top healthcare. Maybe it's just market performer, growth versus value. Scott, kudos on that move. And Ryan, I got asked on Spaces yesterday, and it was funny because they said, what are you doing in this market? And I said nothing. I said, a couple of days doesn't make a trend, and it doesn't change my long-term thesis. And so I told them, sit with the sleep test. If you sleep at night, have at it. Be perfectly fine with losing. I lost, I think, 2.5%, but the NASDAQ was down like 2.7%. Now, mind you, bye. I'll see you later. What time?
Next year.
Okay. Miss you already. She's leaving. But 2% of my portfolio is six figures. That's. I mean, for a lot of people that might be a little bit. I'm more focused on the percentage. I'm not necessarily worried about the dip. It's this is the way it felt last Thursday. And am I buying it? We'll go over kind of what I'm doing and how to look at these things in the charts. But it's not. There's no need for panic. Is kind of my point. Morning, Laurel. If you're panicking over one day, then you're you're not creating wealth. I liken it to, there were a couple of days in my career where, big customers, canceled contracts or said some things and for the company and people were panicking. And if one customer is going to bring your entire company down, you haven't diversified enough. Same thing with the stock market. If you're feeling like yesterday killed you and it's just not a good time, I would argue it's probably your portfolio. I'm not, kind of casting aspersions. If you're beating the market on the upside, more than likely you're going to have volatility on the downside. And so we always talk about the middle ground there, and that's where it is. Yeah. Honestly, Chris, I'm up 7 figures this year. 6 figures doesn't hurt. I mean, it's more money than I ever thought I would make in a year that I lost yesterday. So, we did get a request about Dell yesterday, so I'm going to include this in the newsletter too. Don't sleep on Dell. I like that one. Yeah, I mean, more than likely, if you're logging in here, I mean, I remember this. It was a recent trip to Orlando that I took where I worked with MLS, and a guy, the Orlando MLS stadium is right next to a homeless shelter or some church that provides something. And there's a lot of people that show up and they have a lot of security around there to try and protect the stadium because there are some things. And this nice gentleman walked up and he said, "Hey, how do I get a job at the stadium?" And I said, "Honestly, I don't know." I said, "But you can log in on your phone." And he kind of rang me, he said, "Well, I don't have a phone and I don't have a computer and I don't know how to use one." And it kind of rung my bell is that, sometimes we think about losing that kind of money, but that particular gentleman had nothing. And I was like, God, starting from nothing would be a Herculean task. Realizing where you are and where you came from is more, kind of where I'm at in the situation of yesterday is what are you doing? Nothing. I mean, if your portfolio, if you've got good companies, and that is why this core portfolio in Savvy Trader is so freaking key. We can look at, let's go to this core portfolio. And I probably, I logged in early enough that I can do this crap with you. But, there's Roxanne and Max. But look at we've had a year of this core portfolio. And the core portfolio is just 100 names. I mean, it's nothing that I've traded, nothing that I've really done. It's just, hey, you can invest in these names. Now, Tesla's down 8% in this portfolio. Boeing is down 13%. Pepsi's down 8%. Roblox is down 3%. And Cleveland Cliffs is down 5%. The others are all double digits up. So it really depends on what your time frame is. B, how you manage your portfolio. And that 1 year performance right there, it kind of shows you. I was performing right with the Qs, and then NVIDIA, SMCI, everything just took off, and I'm beating the Qs. So even if I had the Qs, and I have a large portion of the Qs in my portfolio, XLK, XLY, and the Qs, I think those are my top 3 ETFs, if I remember. And they're doing fine. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, if that's the case, Scott, you're doing great. Kudos. It'll happen. You'll see if we are going. And I say this a lot. We're in a bull market until we're not. And 2022, it was a bear market and it lasted for quite a while, but it turned into a bull market. So as long as you were, reevaluating your portfolio every now and then and looking at things and making sure that you get to that bull. I mean, even look at the core portfolio yesterday. United Health was the only thing that was up. I mean, well, there was Pepsi, there was Simon Property Group, there was Exxon. Everything that was down was up. Coke was up 1.6%. Occidental Petroleum, MPLX. So, again, I liken it to, you got to be in it or else, and I'm 95%, 99% invested. I mean, shit, I bought NVIDIA at 130. Did I sell it yesterday? Hell no. I'm not trading in and out of it. I'm just buying it, and then, 5 years, 6 years from now, I can't manage a portfolio that well that I'm going to get in and out of something. I'm just not, I'm not that good. I really am not. I mean, stop losses, fantastic. There are much better portfolio managers than me, but we'll talk about Amazon. Core portfolio. We'll do a core portfolio look. You know what? I'm going to take Waste Management out. That's not a stock that I go over. It was good. It's been killing it. I'm just going to take it out. It's not part of my wheelhouse. Yeah, I think it's Alpha Picks, right? XLK is a great one. I mean, I think that's a underlooked portion. Boeing got a cross up. MPLX got a cross up. Walmart got a cross up. We're going to put a space in there. Boy, it's hot, man. Why is my... Let's look at Nest. By the way, I got to tell you, I bought a new rug off of Wayfair. That's a great company, man. Had some errors, some fabric where it was bad. It's a 10 by 14 rug. It is not something that I can fit in my car or do anything with, but we'll see. That they're supposed to be. You know what? I did see. Hold on. I'm gonna put a video up, a link here. Star. I watched a video last night. Let me switch channel, switch account. Let me see. I'm going to copy this link for you cash savers. This was a video. Maybe I'll just put it in the newsletter. You know what? For cash savers, this was an interesting video. I forget the one that he said. Let me see. And again, it's no state taxes, which interests me because I don't pay federal taxes right now because I'm sorry. Yeah, I don't pay the capital gains, I should say, because I keep it under $40,000, my income. But let me see. USFR. This is the Wisdom Tree floating rate. And what you can see here is those dips in this kind of thing. It's when it pays its monthly dividend, but it's a 5.34% yielding, and it's super interesting. I mean, I'm not sure I'm going to go through and actually do something like this, but it's an interesting one because you came from $50.21, and you're only at $50.44. So the dip that you're seeing is when the dividends are paid. So again, it's an interesting way to try and, any money is good money. So if you can make a little bit more money, it kind of makes sense. Boeing has been just putting in that floor. MPLX, I've said it. I think it's, anything around 40 is a great buy in this one. Walmart crossed the 60 mark. It went up to 70. That's just a monster of a stock. Let's see if anything that I personally own crossed up and isn't in that one. The scanner's working slow. Walmart, Wells Fargo after earnings. Wells Fargo. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. Boom. Boom. Bitcoin. Let's check our micro strategy. 1614. I bought at 1600, so I'm good. I mean, it's only been a few days. It's not like, I think I was up like $1,000 on it or something. We're gonna put QYLE, and then energy names. There's probably a few. LNG. And leveraged ETFs. MAGQ. MAGQ. Wah, wah. Low cost Vanguard. At some point, I probably have to put a list of, hey, here's some good small caps or regional banks. You know what? Let's do that. Here's the watch list. MongoDB got a huge. McKesson got a big one. Let's see. There we go. Let's scan this. This is all the KB. Okay, so you got Citigroup and Wells Fargo. KBW. Let's look at. I mean, you can do ARC. All ARC holdings we can look at. The scanner has so many things. PD, PagerDuty. Let's look at the Dow. Dow 30. Wah, wah, wah. I'd be careful of using ChatGPT and AI like that. WVF. I tend to agree, but I think what it does is it takes headlines and articles that it reads and it puts that in there. And so I think it's going to give you, specific stock type stuff. It's not going to do very well at. And I don't say don't use it, but I think you use it with a little grain of salt with that one. Because I think it's garbage in, garbage out kind of stuff. And I think it's just really looking at, hey, wow, I can't believe in 2 stocks on the NASDAQ got an entry in the, here's my take on Amazon. And we'll go over it as part of the core portfolio, and we can look at it here. I'll look at it here a little bit more in depth with you guys. Citigroup, and AT&T. Okay, so there's the scans. Let's look at Amazon. I'll go back to the 4-hour. And my take on Amazon is I added some, I think at 190 something. I want to say somewhere around there. Maybe 180. I'm not quite sure. 189. I think right after it got past that 188 was where I really looked at it. But here's Amazon, okay? Yesterday's candle, you had a nice green candle in the afternoon, which was, an inside candle. The low on this candle was 186. The low on the morning candle was 185.99. So you have an inside candle, which will indicate some type of potential reversal. You've got a low RSI. You've got a low MACD. Do you want to time it? I mean, again, if money's coming out of this mega cap, then trade. Do you want to time it and add it? I would argue that, the 188 support level got broken yesterday because the afternoon candle went to 188.16. The actual resistance is 188.66. Now, you may not care because, hey, we're quibbling over 50 cents. It's not a big deal. And you may want to hold this for a very long time. The algorithm got you out with a nice 8% gain. It saved you. So, if you wanted to trade it with the algorithm, maybe wait a little while. That MACD, the algorithm, again, if you don't have TrendSpider, it is super simple. MACD, it's based on the MACD. And so that MACD has to be moving up. And right now the MACD is moving down. So do we have more downside? I don't know. I mean, every time you've gotten to down here on the MACD to about 2, right now minus 2, right now you're at minus 0.73. When you've gotten to 0.2, that's where the reversal seems to happen the last couple of times. So, and provided you a good leg up. And the other thing I'll argue is when you go to the weekly, the MACD still raised. Now, you did break through that 188. It seemed like that was going to be support. It didn't hold it. It could come back down. But you just had this golden cross. So I would argue that for long term, I think you're good. It's one of my favorite of the Mag 7, Grade 8, whatever you want to call it. But I like it. And so we'll go over it. Let me open up some of these things. And jobs already came out. The Qs are up 0.72, so you're getting back a little bit. Somebody asked about SQQQ. This is the rotation that I was talking about that we're going to go over in an article like that. I'll include this one that I just included for cash savers, where he talks about, let's see, I need to get it to a good point in the video. It's got that 3D printer in the back. There we go. We'll just stop it there. Don't sleep on Dell. We've got a nice Dell. Oh, I'm going to push that over here. Netflix earnings tonight. We'll go over that. TSM killed it. Stock is up, 2% in pre-market, I think. 1 point something. Let's see. Stock is up 2.31% in pre-market. Domino's Pizza, consumer. That low-end food is not doing well. Down 12% in pre-market. Core portfolio will look. This was a great article. Undercover Dozen ETF Edition. China Bitcoin Security Motley Fool. I mean, it's basically a bunch of ETFs that you may never have heard about that are under the radar that may perform well. Fortinet, don't fall asleep on cybersecurity. This is a stock that I think regularly bounces up. We'll look at that chart. It's up 2.44%. Palantir gets a $50 price target. This was a great clip from last call tonight, and I really like Brian Sullivan, by the way. He's probably one of my favorite anchors on CNBC, and he had this dude on last night about the reversal, and I thought that was a great interview. Tom Lee, there's an interview here on Vimeo. He does, I guess, a 1 minute kind of thing every night. So you can play that one. We're going to get out of that. And this is the tweet that led me to that one, where I need to probably subscribe to Vimeo. I don't want to. There we go. We're going to get out of there. This is the tweet there. Carl Quintanilla put it up there. This is XLG versus IWC. I hope the chart comes up. There you go. Okay, we can play with that one. Gene Munster's take. I've got a long diatribe about, hey, we all have different political opinions. I'm not trying to make a political opinion, but Donald Trump is extremely self-serving. Understand that he doesn't want the stock market to go up. That's why he's telling Jerome Powell not to raise rates. Donald Trump is smart when it comes to manipulating things. I don't think he's a very good human, but I do think he's smart. But again, I think he, having his granddaughter come up and say stuff. I mean, listen, everybody loves their grandpa, so it is what it is. But this was a good one too. This VXF, which is an extended market index fund, it owns everything outside of the S&P. Larry. Morning, Omar. Okay, so we're going to go to the Qs, and 4-hour algorithm had you out yesterday. Got you out. Nice 13% gain. Okay. I'm going to hit the record button. I hope I don't crash. If I crash, I'll come right back, I promise. But you just saw what I'm going to go over. So even if you wanted to not even hang out, and listen to my diatribe. But there's a lot more charts that I'll go over. So looking at the core portfolio, NVIDIA's up 3%. I mean, you're getting everything bouncing back. So the question is it going to bounce back to the old highs, or is it just going to stair step, go sideways? Who knows? But we'll go over it. I haven't looked at a lot of this stuff. So what you guys get on the podcast, just so you know, is me doing my morning research. So Omar, Nike, buy it if you want. I'm not timing the bottom. Omar, honestly, I don't wear Nike clothes. So I own a bunch of Nike. Well, not a bunch. I think it's $1,000 worth of Nike at $120. At some point in time, it gets back up to $120. I don't need the $1,000. It's sitting in there. Am I buying it again? Probably not. But if you want to buy Nike, go ahead and buy Nike. I think it's an iconic brand. I think they'll do things fine. I think the management has shown that they just fuck things up. I mean, how you let Hoka take over your running shoe platform, how you have shitty clothing, how you have the Olympics, how you have all of this stuff coming up, and these guys don't have any innovation. Come on. I mean, there's a reason it's not in the core portfolio. But if you want it, go get it. There's nothing that I can say that isn't out there on the internet. I'm not buying it. So I've had a lot of questions about it. And, it's like Starbucks. Starbucks is down too. If you drink Starbucks, go and buy Starbucks stock. If you don't drink Starbucks, don't buy it. I wear New Balance. I got the dad bod going. I got the New Balance sneakers. I love New Balance. I like ASICs, and I usually wear Puma or Under Armour for my clothing. I hate Nike. Never have liked it. So, morning, Moneza. Okay, let me start recording. Good morning. It is Thursday, July 18th. What is Sunday Bloody Sunday on a Thursday? Because it wasn't Sunday Bloody Thursday. Sunday, I don't know if it was the day of, the day after. Yesterday was ugly. Ugly. Just ugly. If you are focused on large cap tech like me, it was ugly. We're going to go over a couple of things. Yesterday was exactly like last Thursday. You had a rotation out of big cap tech into small caps. That's essentially what it was. The VIX was up. We'll go over kind of the Trump stuff and the Biden stuff. We'll go over Gene Munster's take. We'll look at XLG, which is the S&P Top 50 versus microcaps. What Tom Lee thinks we're going to do. FYI, 40% rally in the next 10 weeks on the small caps. You have a ton of stuff. Palantir, new upgrade. We will go over the core portfolio. So the core portfolio is in Savvy Trader. And how do you get there? Well, you use the link tree. Okay, that's first off. You go down to this thing, Savvy Trader, follow my trades. The core portfolio is just 35 names that are, it's 100 shares per stock, per stock. So 100 shares of Lilly. When it enters the core portfolio, I buy 100 shares. And just for instance, NVIDIA, when it split 10 for 1, I sold 900 shares of NVIDIA the next day. That's not something I would normally do in a portfolio. But it goes to show you that just, hey, focusing on the right names, look at this performance. This is 1 year of the core portfolio. Again, 35 names against QQQ. And if you were in this, okay, if you had this core portfolio of just 100 shares of each one, and I wouldn't recommend you have your portfolio set up this way, but if you were, you're still up 41.5%. Okay, 41.59. 41.6 on a roundup. 41.6. Okay, 35 names. It's not a lot. It's not, my suggestion is to have 20 names in your portfolio because 35 is a hell of a lot. But, maybe you have some ETFs that have exposure to this stuff. But what's the NASDAQ up? The Q's 24.92. And we know that's the leading index this year. So almost doubled it. We're close, but it was just a little pullback. So, yesterday, and I said this on Spaces yesterday. I'll be on, I think, 2 p.m. today on Spaces with Wolf. But I said it yesterday. They asked me what I'm doing. Nothing. Yes, my portfolio was down 6 figures yesterday. I slept fine last night. I told people, if you didn't sleep well last night because you lost a lot of money yesterday, your portfolio isn't customized for you. And you have to customize it for you. We all have different risk tolerances, but I slept fine. So, yeah. And by the way, just so everyone's aware, TrendSpider sale, it's got 1 day left. 1 day left, TrendSpider sale. As I go through this, you'll see me do charts. All of my charts are in TrendSpider. I have a 4-hour algorithm, a 65-minute algorithm, 5-minute algorithm. I have custom watch lists. I have custom scanners. Everything that you need from a technical standpoint, you get from me when you sign up for TrendSpider. It's going on for 1 more day. $58 a month for the enhanced. That's what I would suggest because you save a ton. You get 6 months for free. Now, if you just want the standard at $53, you want to save $5 a month, but yeah, go get that one. I think the enhanced is the best. If you're new, I would urge you, if you have the money, to move up to the advanced. It's $111 a month. It's not small, but what you get is unlimited one-on-one training from TrendSpider, and they can help you with some of the tools within TrendSpider. I use probably 10-15% of what TrendSpider have. They have unusual options. They have political insider. It's all on the charts. So it's not like a list. You can get a list. It's all down here. What's happening now? You can look at the stock market cap. You can look at custom indicators you can create. You can use ChatGPT. Say you want to create something where a scanner that tells you everything in the NASDAQ, or let's say the Russell, since that's the one. If you may not know all 2,000 stocks. Well, let me see which ones are trading under the 50-day in the Russell. You can set that up with ChatGPT by just telling to TrendSpider, hey, give me a scan for all the Russell stocks that are trading under the 200-day on the daily, and it'll do it for you. I mean, it's so simple. I had a one-on-one with somebody a few weekends ago, and I showed them that on TrendSpider. They were like, oh my God, I never knew that. So again, TrendSpider sale is going on. Get it while you can. Now, let's take a look at the Qs because I've said this before. I have button hooks. Button hook is my term. It's kind of a half circle. It's nothing great. If you want to know exactly what I say on this podcast, the Daily Stock Pick newsletter, you have an education section down here. You can sign up for it. It's got a ton. Everything that I say is in that education center. But this button hook is half circle. Look. It's coming over. I said we need to be patient and we need to be careful. Well, you've lost confirmation on the Qs. You're down below that 9-day. Yes, in pre-market, you are up 0.78%, but you've lost that. Do you want to get out? I would argue we're in a bull market until we're not. Am I selling my Qs? No. I'm looking for an opportunity to add to those. I am a long-term investor. I am not a short one. Is it time to protect? Well, one of the requests was SQQQ. We'll go over that later. Is it time to add to that? I don't know. We can take a look at the chart and we can look at what it says. But here's the Qs, okay? I look at the 4-hour. I say, boy, it passed through this support level. What's the next support level? It's probably down here at about 475 right before this. You may be coming down to this 470 level. That 486, it passed right through there. So it hit 480. I don't know where. I think it closed at 481. Right now it's trading at 485. So you're back close to this one. Might turn into resistance. It might bounce off there. I would say if you get down below 474, look out below because you don't have a lot of volume within there. And when I say look out below, it's 460. Again, that's where we were trading in June 11th. You are July 18th. It is not time to panic. So, again, use the sleep test. There were 7 advancers yesterday to 5 decliners. This is just in big tech. One of the things I will show you is this, VXF. This is Extended Market Index Fund. This owns everything except for the S&P 500, okay? Take a look at year to date. This still hasn't caught up to where VOO, to where QQQ, to where DIA is down there with them too. That's the Dow Industrials. So it hasn't caught up. You're seeing these top two, which are QQQ and VOO, come down. You're seeing the bottom two, which is the Dow and VXF, those are coming up. So we're going to meet somewhere in the middle. And QQQ and VOO, maybe everything goes up after they meet. Maybe one continues down and the other goes up. You have to make your determination of whether you're a long-term. Time matters. Are you long-term or short-term? I would argue, hey, long-term makes much more sense than short-term. So one of the things that I wanted to show you, VIX was up yesterday. It went to 14. It's still at 14. This was riding in the 13s. You can see all the way from back here in May, it was riding. I mean, just type into VIX and into Seeking Alpha, you'll find it. And you want to take a look at this. What this does is it uses future options trading to determine volatility. It hasn't been a great indicator. It hasn't. So the VIX was up. Now, I think, we had some things yesterday said by both President Trump and President Biden about Taiwan, chips, blah, blah, blah. Josh Brown said it best. For God's sake, don't do a Trump trade based on his likes and dislikes. When he said, hey, I'm not going to defend Taiwan, we have been through 4 years of this. And if you haven't, there were simple tweets, okay, that took a company down. He picked winners and losers in the market. And if you don't believe me, just Google what he said about Tesla. Google what he said about Amazon. He picked winners and losers. And Josh Brown absolutely said it best. Trump's economic policy will be shaped by the last person he talks to in the Oval Office on a daily basis, or who's contributing the most money to his super PAC. He will absolutely not say anything bad about Elon Musk now, even though we can go back in history and he can, he said Tesla would be a failed company. I'm not making political statements here. Trump is very self-serving, and understand, Joe Biden is just as self-serving. All political candidates are. Trump said the Taiwan thing, and he said Jerome Powell should not lower rates before the election for one and only reason. He doesn't want a roaring stock market into this election. Joe Biden restricting chips yesterday to China, that's a policy decision from a president. Honestly, they both knew that would dump the market. But one did it for self-serving reasons because he's not the president. The other one did it for national security reasons. Either way, none of this stuff matters. If it's an AI market, and this is what you learned from a Trump presidency, if it's an AI market and it's a good company, don't concern yourself with it. Again, I said Trump picked winners and losers in the market, but a single tweet would take a stock down 10 to 15% in a day. That's what you deal with the Trump presidency. He tried to take down Amazon. He tried to take down Tesla. Understand, at the end of the day, both of those companies wound up better. So he's just, again, he's self-serving himself. And I don't blame him. He's trying to win the presidency. But that's what you're going to deal with. And so for this election season, I think you're going to see it too. Gene Munster had the best thing. NASDAQ's 2.5% decline has been triggered by a vortex of geopolitical comments from Trump and Biden. In the near term, it doesn't matter. So again, restrictions will matter. But in the near term, I'm not looking at the near term. I'm looking at the long term. So again, I go back to the sleep test. If you didn't sleep last night because of the amount of money that you lost, I would argue your portfolio is not customized enough to yourself. Make some changes. This is XLG, okay? XLG, one of my favorite ETFs. It's the top S&P 50, okay? So it takes the other 450 out. I'm a big cap tech investor. This is big cap heavy tech, weighted. So the S&P, this is IWC, the blue line, okay? That is micro caps. Those are the super small companies. Look at year to date and look at where this one's coming to. Now, XLG, you're just getting back to where you were back at the beginning of July. If you want to insulate yourself, I would argue, get XLG and IWC. Insulate yourself with ETFs because the bottom half will go over this. Carla Quintanilla put this out last night. We want to emphasize, this is from FundStrat, Tom Lee. We want to emphasize that this summer of small cap stock, expecting a 10-week rally of 40% or more. I will put the link to this and include the video. It's a macro minute. It's Tom Lee. He just goes over why they think that. It makes sense to me. It makes sense. And if that video isn't enough, I got another video for you from last night's last call with Brian Sullivan, who's my favorite anchor on CNBC, by the way. I really like him. He goes over with Piper Sandler's Craig Johnson about how money is coming out of these stocks. Money is coming out of the Mag 7, and it's going to these small caps. And they do a great job of showing you charts. So I am going to probably start positions in IWM and some other small cap ETFs. I don't know small caps. I've said, a lot of these guys that are on spaces with me, they know small caps. If you hear somebody say, oh my God, it's a great stock, go and do your research. This is the dangerous part, because if you don't know that company, you could get burned by some douchebag on the internet who knows nothing. You need to know the fundamentals of a company. You need to know what they do. You need to know what they've reacted on earnings before. Small caps, a large number of these don't make money. Higher for longer will hurt them. If you don't get a September rate cut, you will get absolutely killed in this market. So understand that there is some danger in this. Now, one danger that I would argue, Palantir. It's in the core portfolio. Wedbush, Dan Ives just gave it a huge upgrade. Okay? He said it's going to 50. It was down 1.57% yesterday. It's at 28. How do you do your research on this one? You use Seeking Alpha. Okay? You go and you look. If you don't know anything about fundamentals, use the quant. The quant ratings come up automatically for thousands and thousands of stocks. It doesn't cover everything. If the quant doesn't cover it and you don't know the stock well enough and don't know the company, don't invest in it. It's probably, you could make a ton of money off of it, but don't do it. I would argue don't do it. Now, Palantir is a hold in the quant. Why? The valuation. And that's it. There's a revision at B minus, but when you look at the valuation, the PEG ratio is huge. It's 3.81. They're going to have to grow incredibly to justify this valuation. Does this mean that you don't buy and hold it? No. This has been a runner. Look, they're growing at 17%. Where's their free cash flow? 31%. The sector median is only doing 27%. So they're growing, and this one has a lot of hype. I would argue you want to trade it in some type of fashion with either, a buy and hold, or just trade, if you want to trade it here. The 4-hour algorithm got you in at 21. You're still in it. I said it before, this $25 mark, that was a resistance. It is now support. I think we've been up there long enough that it is now support. The problem is the valuation doesn't suggest that. The valuation suggests that we should probably be around 20. So do you want to buy it at 28? If you believe Dan Ives and you read this and you read that article and you say, yes, it makes sense, buy it. Just buy it and hold it. You don't even have to trade it. Now, I will argue the 4-hour algorithm, it makes you 60%. If you bought and held this for 24 months, you made 190%. So again, choose your path, choose whichever one you want. This goes back to the IPO right here. You can see it ran up. It put in this nice floor at about 25. That's how you know it's coming back. So it came back to that. You had some stops along the way. During that time, the 24 months, you had 28 positions. It's once per month. Maybe you want to trade it on the 65-minute algorithm. Again, this is TrendSpider. You get all this when you sign up through my link. The 65-minute algorithm, over 8 months, it makes you 49%. Okay? Over 8 months, if you bought and held, you made 41%. So you have 91 positions. It is a heavily traded stock because it's very volatile. So on a 65-minute time frame, it's going to get you in and out much more. Right now, you're out. So I would argue, hey, between the 4-hour having me and the 65-minute having me out, I probably want to stay out. That would just be my my assumption, just based on that. Now, $50 price target at $28 makes sense. He moved his price target from 35 to 50. So Palantir, I think it's a good one. It's in the core portfolio. Fortinet is not in the core portfolio, but I don't want you to fall asleep on cybersecurity. Palo Alto Networks is in the core portfolio. CrowdStrike is not, but I do suggest trading CrowdStrike. Now, Fortinet gains as TD Cowen upgrades on the back of solid channel checks. It rose 2% in pre-market. This is a stock. My dad owns this one. I traded this one for a nice gain a couple of times. I do not own it. I think it's traded 2 or 3 times I've traded this one. Here on the 4-hour, it's put in this nice little floor, okay? It's capitulating right here. Do you want to get in? I would argue that maybe the 4-hour might get you in at some point in time. You've got a juicy gap up here to 64. This one regularly gets up there. If we go and we take a look at the weekly, you can see it's in this nice trading range. It will get back up to 74 or 75. It will. This is a solid cybersecurity company. Is it going to go, double to 140? No. Nah. Until that channel comes out of this, we can go and look at this one. What's the average Wall Street price? Let's take a look at the quant and the Wall Street price, okay? If you take a look at the quant, I think the quant is a hold, if I'm not mistaken, and it's probably based on valuation. Yeah, momentum and valuation and growth. Okay, what's the Wall Street average price target? We can go and look at the buy right here. The price target, $71. Again, you take a look at this. Let's see. Has it come down? No. They're just trading sideways all the way since 2021. That price target hasn't changed. So I would assume that this one just will get back to where it's at. Again, TD Cowen thinks so. Read that article. It's an interesting one. Let's take a look at, so we're going to take a look at this one. This is an Undercover Dozen ETF edition. So this Undercover Dozen, this is a Seeking Alpha publication. I'm going to actually follow it. You can follow it. Every now and then they go undercover under the hood to a stocks that may perform well. This edition highlights 12 less covered exchange trade fund on Seeking Alpha from June 1st to July 15th. And their stuff, take a look and share your thoughts. Are any of these worth a deeper look? So the Undercover Dozen series began as an effort to highlight undercovered stocks in our platform for you to have another source for idea generation. This is a great article. And it probably is part of the premium service. How do you get the premium service? You go to my link tree. Remember, TrendSpider is the number 1 that I recommend. Seeking Alpha Premium is the number 2. You save 25% and you get a free 7-day trial. Say you want to look at those ETFs. You click on that link. You get over here. You start your free trial. Cancel after 7 days. I don't care. If you don't find value in it, cancel it after 7 days. It might not be for you. But these are the things that I like looking at. Again, it's just ETFs on this one. But this is a weekly series that they come out with 12 stocks. Go and look at it. There were a couple in here. There was iHack. There was Sabre Closed End Funds, FOF. There's TLTW, a buy until recession imminent. That's the Treasury bond buy right strategy. I mean, there's a couple of them in there that are really good that I never knew existed. So it's interesting. Let's talk about earnings. We talked about the weak consumer. Well, I'll tell you, Domino's Pizza, whoofa. It's down 15%. QCOM sales fall short. Papa John's also lower. This is about the weak consumer. This is about, McDonald's. This is about Burger King. This is about that low-end kind of food stuff just falling out of favor. You can get local pizza for about the price of a Domino's unless you use the app. And people are like, I'd rather you use the local pizza. That's what this is. I mean, again, this is, you can Domino's Pizza. You're going to see a bunch of downgrades probably on this price target. If we look from Wall Street here, it's a hold in the quant. Why? The valuation's an F. This one has run up. This one's been a buy in the quant for quite a long time here, up to $500. And you can see, the actual price target is $547. You're going to see a bunch of this stuff come down. See, it's ran up there. You're going to see this price target come down. There are 34 analysts that cover this. You're going to see a multitude of people either come out and say we have conviction about this one, or they're going to come out and say, hey, sell it. The valuation, again, if you don't know anything about this stuff, just take a look at these grades. The growth isn't there. The growth with the PEG ratio. Their forward PEG is 2.47. The sector's at 1.5. Let's take a look at some of the restaurants. That might be some. Eat. Okay, Eat, just give you, maybe I'm not supposed to say this, but this is an alpha pick stock. So say you don't want Seeking Alpha Premium and you just want hand-picked stocks. Well, that's the third one. The third one down here is alpha picks. Want to beat the S&P? Look, it's the performance. You get one pick on the first, one pick on the 15th. I have yet to get a complaint about this. Everybody who's gotten in, I started being an affiliate of theirs in February of this year. They had an amazing sale on this. I know a lot of people took them up on it. Everybody loves this one. And it's about 30 stocks or so that are in the current portfolio. You get 2 per month. So you get one on the 15th, one on the 1st. They alert you when to sell. A couple days ago, I went over one of the sales that they had. You get an email as to, hey, this one has come out of favor. Here's why. If you don't understand fundamental analysis, this is the portfolio for you. You get articles. They go over all of the portfolio. I think twice a month they go over it. It's awesome. It's awesome. I mean, honestly, those 3 tools, there's TrendSpider, there's Seeking Alpha Premium, and then there's Alpha Picks. Those 3 tools are ones that with my portfolio size, I would not have a problem paying for. I'm an affiliate. I was a paying customer before I became an affiliate. Simple as that. Again, it's very, very simple. And if you want, we just looked at Domino's. It came up as Taiwan Semi reports tonight. So we can look at this one they reported this morning. They blew it out. They're up 3%. And how do I know how they did? Well, I go to Earnings Hub. So we talk about this all the time. You can look at, they beat by 7.25%. Revenue, they beat by 4%. We're in an AI market. This is why NVIDIA's up. This is why AMD is up. This is why all the chips are up today. We shook off those Biden and Trump comments yesterday, and we shook it off. It is what it is. Again, Taiwan Semi, you can read about the earnings there. That's in the core portfolio. Tonight we have Netflix. This is what I wanted to talk about. So in pre-markets, 0.39. This is Netflix ad tier growth in focus during Q2 earnings. What are we looking at? Now, I did go over in the paid newsletter on the weekend. I went over the play that I would do on Netflix. I'm going to leave it there, so I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. But I will point out here on Earnings Hub, which is my favorite, earning. I don't like Earnings Whisper. I always get confused on this one. This is nice and simple. You have your earnings, you have your price right there. You can look at the chart. You can look at news. You can look at activity. I'm not a paid member here. I am not a paid member. This activity, by the way, these are everybody in Savvy Trader that's actually trading this. And you can go look up their portfolio performance that they're trading. You can see it. Again, you can see, are these guys making money? Are they doing well? Blah, blah, blah. But again, earnings, The reported $5.28. Expected this time $4.74. $9.37 billion in reported revenue. Expected $9.53 billion. I've been watching the receiver series on there. I'm a huge NFL fan. I love it. I'm on the last episode. Don't ruin it. Who won the Super Bowl? I love that series. I mean, I love that one. Seinfeld, I watch every night before I go to sleep. This is the one streaming service I will never disconnect. So again, the ad tier's in focus. I have the regular one. If they up the price, I don't care. But again, their password sharing and the ad tier, that's going to be what's in focus. I would expect this one to at least hold that $650 price. If you go over here, we're going to go over the core portfolio next on everything. But let's look at Netflix. It is in the core portfolio. It is a personal holding of mine. I've argued before that I think it's going to 700. Now we can look at here. Let's go over to Seeking Alpha. You can see it's a hold in the quant. Well, why is it a hold? If it's so good, why is it a hold? The quant's not perfect, and this one is extremely expensive. The valuation on Netflix is extremely expensive. It has never mattered. What's mattered is the growth. So when you look at the valuation on this one, the PEG is 1.19. As long as they continue to grow, that the sector's trading at 1.51. So as long as their growth continues, and it's not just customer growth, they are switching Wall Street's focus from customer growth to actual revenue growth, and they're growing at 9.47% over year. The sector's growing at 2.24. Levered cash flow, they're growing at 12.28. They'll do better. The problem that you're going to have is that levered cash flow might actually come down because of their cost of the Christmas NFL games and stuff. But I'd argue that's going to bring more people in. You probably have again, the content is what's king on this one. Now, the algorithm got you out here on July 11th. Okay? It got you out. It got you out with a nice 18% gain. Now, do you do better with this one over 2 years with the algorithm? No. You make 117%. That sounds great. Buying and holding, you made 263%. So you more than doubled just by buying and holding. But like yesterday, if you lose sleep at night because this is a volatile name, you can make 117%. Okay? 23 positions over 24 months. It's not like you have to, go to bed and wonder the 4-hour algorithm will protect you. This is a stock that is bottom left to upper right long term, but the algorithm has you out. I am not making a move before earnings. I went over in detail what I was doing in the paid newsletter. Earnings are tonight after the bell. That's an interesting one. Let's go over some of the other algorithm stocks because, again, not everybody has TrendSpider. Your portfolio may be a little bit smaller. Apple, you're still in. It probably will get you out. Just taking a look at this one, it probably will get you out. It's up 1% in pre-market. Amazon, I have argued, Amazon is the best buy right now for long term. This is the one Mag 7 that hasn't gotten and held above its all-time high. You got above that. That was the 188 because look at this weekly, okay? Did you hold it long enough? Many times, it's only 3 weeks that you've held above that. And then you broke down. And look, the MACD hasn't reset itself by going sideways. Usually when you're actually getting a move up and it's going sideways like this, the MACD will come down. The MACD hasn't come down. The RSI hasn't come down. This one needed a break, and it probably needs another break. Is 180.89 going to be the best price that you can get it? I don't know. But I can almost guarantee you that if we come back a year from now, Amazon is higher than it was. Again, the core portfolio has a ton of these types of stocks where it might not be at its all-time high. Boeing. This is a core portfolio stock that I've said, hey, at some point in time, this one gets back to 200. To 184. It's kind of put in its floor. That 176, it broke down a couple of times below that. This one's just news-driven. Bank of America, I said it before, it's a $50 stock. Do you want to buy it at 43? Algorithm had you in at 39. I don't know why you'd buy at 43 when you could have bought at 39. So if you're not buying at 39 because you didn't have the 4-hour algorithm, take advantage of that TrendSpider sale. Get it. Cleveland Cliffs. This is a company that probably traded, I think, 8 or 9 pre-pandemic. They are making a purchase. I think this one's a great stock. You can trade it. Trade that one. Costco, I've said it before. When it goes down to 13, you can buy it. It pumps up to 20. Costco, why are you paying 50 times earnings? I sold out of this one. I continue to think that this one has some weakness. But we talked about Amazon not seeing the MACD reset while it was trading sideways. This MACD reset. Okay, this MACD is coming down and then it's moving back up. That typically will push it a little higher. Costco, I will get back into. The algorithm got you out with a little loss here. I was in at this 620 level, 610, somewhere in that neighborhood, or I'm sorry, 720. Back in April, I sold out. It was in a retirement account. I just took my profits. Disney is one that it will pop back over 100 at some point in time. The algorithm has you in at 97. It will pop back up. You'll be fine. Again, the algorithm makes you 17% over 2 years. If you just bought and held, you made 3.5%. I'm trying to get my dad out of this one. He bought a ton of it before. FBCG, this is a blue chip growth ETF from Fidelity. Got you out yesterday. This is heavy in the Mag 7. Got you out yesterday. Again, nothing more than I can say. Great gain. 15%, 16% in a freaking ETF. Okay? Google. Let's look at Google. We're going over all of these core portfolio names. Google got you out yesterday, 2.3%. It's up 0.8%. Do you want to get back in? Well, that MACD looks like it's going down. I would argue this rotation may not be done. Long term, I think you're fine. Goldman Sachs just crossed over 500. It has you in, but if you didn't get in at this 462 prior to earnings, why are you getting in now? You've got to take a look at these charts. I don't know anything about the fundamentals, but if you're looking at it from a technical standpoint, Coke, I've said this before. You can buy this under 60 many times. You can sell this over 60. Right now it's strength. Don't sell it. Wait till it shows some weakness. Eli Lilly, wait until it dips under 900. When it dips under 900, buy it. Their GLP-1, if you get the chance to buy this under 800 before their earnings on August 7th, take it. That GLP-1 is going to show incredible growth. Meta, under 500 all day. All freaking day. I don't care. Trump wants to reinstate the TikTok ban. He doesn't like Meta. I don't care. It's a political year. Guess who's buying ads on Meta? All of his super PACs. Guess who's getting those dollars? Meta. They're going to blow it away. Again, it just depends how much Mark Zuckerberg spends. There's going to be a Meta and an NVIDIA conference where they go over what AI can do. That's going to be pretty impressive. I think you're going to see a pump. It's up 2% in pre-market. MPLX, this is one. It just got a cross up. It's going to be on the scan list today. 42.47. I don't buy this for the growth. I buy this for the close to 9% dividend that it pays off. It's oil. Microsoft. This is one, if you can get this under 450. We talked about 430 being the support. Just buy it. Just buy it. The algorithm got you out a couple of days ago with a 6% gain. Did I sell any? No. I'm going to add to this one. I have no fear of this one being higher in a year based on AI. Netflix, we just went over Netflix. Again, am I selling this one? No. Algorithm says to get out. I use the algorithm as my guide. Do I use it? Absolutely no. I just use it as a guide. NVIDIA. I bought a bunch of NVIDIA at 130. Algorithm got you out yesterday with a loss. Did I get out? No. I'm looking to add more. At some point in time, this between 122 and 140, that is where I'd like to add. You've broken down here before and you came right back up. If we look at the weekly, then we can see that the MACD needs to reset. It's super high. My hope is that we trade sideways for, a few weeks. August 26th, this is their earnings. That's going to be a little bit difficult. Occidental Petroleum. This is a Warren Buffett stock. Sell it, buy it under 60, sell it over 60. Right now it's got some strength. Got you in at 61. You can trade the algorithm, makes you 2.3%. Buying and holding makes you 9.7%. I would argue you want to take advantage of these peaks. Don't buy when it's down here and it doesn't have a confirmation. Don't buy when you get here, just because the 50 days moving down on the 200. You want to buy at 61? The 50 days moving positive. You have confirmation. Yes, buy at 61. But don't buy over here. That's why the algorithm, again, the algorithm's not perfect. It tries to play in the middle ground. Pan W, we just went over Fortinet. Pan W is a $350 stock at 331. Should you buy it? The MACD, it's been trading sideways here. If we just look at this, the weekly, you're still in an upward trend. Your all-time highs up here at 370, 376. So it'll get back there. Pepsi's one that had weakness. I don't believe in this stock anymore. I think they've done some things wrong. It's come back. Brandon, who works for him, he got the pump. He bought down below this 160. I think 160 is your price point. As you get to that 160, I think you could buy it and then wait for it to pump back up. But, I drink Pepsi. The reason I hold Pepsi is because I drink Pepsi and Coke. I like Pepsi more. Palantir, we just went over. Dan Ives thinks it's $50 stock. I think it's probably closer to 25. Qualcomm, another chip company. Just buy it. We talked about that 193 being old resistance. It's now turning into support. It's trading at 193. Again, it broke down a little bit. You can't time these things perfectly, but look at how that MACD reset. Look at how the RSI is at 34. Do I want this or NVIDIA? I'd take NVIDIA all day. We went over QQQ at the beginning. Hey, QQQ showing some weakness, showing some strength today. Will it hold up? I don't know. You only got 2 days and then you got the weekend. Roblox. This is a stock that's in here because regularly you can buy this around 30. It'll pump back to 40. Simple. And when it gets to 40 and it starts to show some weakness like it is, you can sell it. Now, is it going to go up to 45? We can look at the weekly. The weekly has a clear channel. This is a company that's not making money. It's the metaverse. But again, you want to trade that one. Shopify, this is an $80 stock. It's at 66. It's up 1.8% today. Algorithm got you in at 68. Did it get you out? No. I would argue you just want to add to this one. SMCI. This is one trading sideways. Their earnings are coming up. It's completely traded sideways. Algorithm got you out yesterday. Did I get out? No, I'm still holding this one. SPG, Simon Property Group. We talked about the consumer. This one pumped up yesterday. Again, anything that was down was pumped up. This one got you in at 148. Tesla, I sold at 250. It's at 251. It's popped. It's going sideways. I can't imagine that this earnings is good. I have doubted this company before. I said 263 was going to be your resistance point. It absolutely has provided resistance. Now the MACD is resetting. It still has you in from this 183. But as we get a little bit closer here, it might get you out. The RSI isn't as extended as it was. But again, do you want to own that one? I own it through XLY, Taiwan Semi. They just had their earnings. The algorithm got you out yesterday with a 4.4% gain. Today, you're up 2%. I would argue you just want to use the algorithm to add to this one. Now, the market just opened up. You might have a gap here after their earnings. That gap will get filled on the way down. Uber, this is an $80 stock. They're going to report earnings. Am I getting out of this one? No. The algorithm got you out yesterday. I didn't. I'll be adding when this one tells me to add again. You make 86% with the algorithm over 24 months, 32 positions. Now, if you bought and held, you're up 225% over 2 years. United Health, this is one. This is a 3-year trend, and it's a breakout. Okay, what we want to look at is we want to look at this weekly, and I pointed this out many times. Okay, this is 2021 right here. This is a 3-week or a 3-year trend that is currently breaking out. It is breaking out. The MACD, super low on the weekly. The RSI quickly has come up to 63. It's overbought. I would argue that the new support level is 550. Okay? Anything under 550 you want to buy. If you get closer to 450, just load up the Brinks truck. VOO, this is the one I prefer over SPY. If you're trading options, SPY's the one. But if you're just buying it in your portfolio, VOO's the one. Now, the algorithm still has you in on VOO. It's up 0.23%. Walmart. This is one, if I were to buy one, Costco or Walmart, I'd just buy Walmart because it's cheaper. It just broke 70. XLK, it's up 1% today. It's probably because NVIDIA is up, NVIDIA is up 3% right now. XLY, this is where I own Tesla. 40% of this is Amazon and Tesla. So, and then Exxon. That's the entire core portfolio. Okay. Exxon, you're going to hit that 120. It's going to bounce off 119. It's going to bounce off, until their earnings. When they announce their earnings, you might get to 125 or so. You can buy this one into strength. I have no doubt in my mind that Exxon will absolutely kill it on earnings, and they will they will buy back a record amount of stock. They will do a ton. So, again, the core portfolio look is fine there. Don't fall asleep on Dell. That's the other one. It's not in the core portfolio. I do own Dell. Don't fall asleep on Dell. It's up 0.32%. It's at 125. There's a great article on that one. You can read that on Seeking Alpha. But if you just want to look at the chart, I've added to this one. I haven't added recently, but in this range between 132 and 140, I have added to it. It broke down. The algorithm has you out with 0.38. The RSI is down at 26. It doesn't look good. The reason Dell doesn't look good is because of the insider selling. Now, if you look at Dell here on FinViz and you just scroll down, Michael Dell has been selling a ton. And you can see July 10th, the director, they're just selling a ton of stock. This is an insider, a director, SLTA. I don't know. Look at how much stock they're selling. That's June and July. That's why it's being kept down. And it's just, if you go and you look at the weekly, it's just trading sideways. With all of that pressure and trading sideways, get ready. When that is done and this MACD starts coming down here towards the 4s and stuff, this is back up to 150. So don't fall asleep on Dell. I like that one. Some education. I will put in the newsletter and the newsletter, by the way, is free. It is free during the week. So you get this entire newsletter for free. Sign up, dailystockpick.substack.com. I will put Trader Sync is a group at tradersync.com. They put together a nice, simple, understanding volume graphic. I'll put it in the newsletter today. This is part of the education. Higher volume without a change in price is normally the result of an equal match of buyers and sellers. Higher volume without a change in price is normally the result of an equal match of buyers and sellers. Okay? This is understanding volume. Higher volume with a rising price means there are more buyers than sellers. Simple. Higher volumes with a falling price means there are more sellers than buyers. That's understanding volume. So when you see this, okay, when you see this weekly and you see Dell going up and you see that blue line right there on the chart, that's my volume line. And I see it going up. Now I see it coming down, but I see the price kind of trading sideways. So right now I'm seeing it being supported even though there are more sellers than buyers. And the volume's going down. So nobody's showing up to buy. As it settles down, you're going to have buyers show up. So that's what that means. Now, anybody who's a saver, this guy had a great one. I forget the one that he said. It is U.S. Treasury ticker USFR. He explains it fantastically. 5.34%, no state taxes. No fees, no membership. It is an ETF that buys U.S. Treasury. So again, you don't pay taxes on that, state taxes. You do pay federal taxes. So if you sell the actual stock, you make some money on your dividends. You do pay federal taxes if you're in that case. But you won't pay state taxes on this one. So it's an interesting one. It's not tax advice. Go and listen to him. See exactly what you want. Let's talk about, again, there was a question about, Highway Jones on Facebook, on the Facebook group. Asked me about SQQQ. This was an interesting article. Before we go and look at the SQQQ, I want to show you this chart. And this entire article goes over it. Goodbye AI theme, hello regionals, the stock theme rotation in one chart. And you can look at this chart. The desk provided this chart of rotation in the last 5 days compared to where money had gone through July 9th. Okay? That if you're on Seeking Alpha and you want to look at that, this is just a look at IWM. IWM, by the way, I will tell you that 212 that I pointed out before, that is support. Okay, your IWM is at 222 right now. You're seeing a little bit of weakness, but today's candle is green. It's up 0.09. The Bollinger Bands are wide open. Now we took a look at this. This is the 4 hour. The Bollinger Bands were just synced up. Where did it go? Well, once you had confirmation, again, it continued up. I thought it was going to stop at 212. It didn't. It kept roaring. Now, I will argue, Tom Lee, again, says 40% in these stocks. It's a little bit stretched. Do you want to buy it now? I think we end the year higher in this index than we are now. Now, the question is, do you want to short this? Because if there's a rotation coming out of the Qs, SQQQ is your safety. Okay? Do you want to load up on SQQQ? My answer would be right now, no, because I'm still a believer in this market. We're in a bull market until we're not. Understand, this is a decaying asset, so it's something that you can buy to make a quick trade on. I would not hold it through the weekend. I don't suggest that. We talked about July being super strong for SQQQ. Well, if we go into we take a look at, TQQQ and QQQ, let's look at the seasonality of this one. Well, what's this one? Last 4 years, SQQQ on this week, it's 100% win. Now, let's see. Did the algorithm know that when it told you to buy on July 12th, which was last week at 763? Maybe. Maybe. It's not, you're not doing too bad on this one. The algorithm loses you 70%. There is no way on a stock that is upper left to bottom right that you will ever make money, okay, long term. If you wanted to, I say this about, that you shouldn't hold this, but if we look at the weekly on TQQQ, we had the dip of 2022. Right now, you're in a 35, by the way, algorithm got you out. But look, okay, that one is where you could have gotten out. Now, if you bought TQQ down here, I can't argue. It makes sense that it just ponied up and it went to all-time highs. But if we look at TQQQ, the algorithm got you out of TQQQ with a nice 9.4% gain. You were up 26% in 35 days. And then this week, was 100%, or I think it's like 50% loss or something. Next week, really good. So, from a weekly basis, maybe you want to play these. But I would argue we are in a bull market until we're not. So am I buying SQQQ? I'd probably trade that algorithm. You can trade the 65-minute algorithm. Let's see how that one works on SQQQ. I've bought SQQQ, I think, a total of maybe 15 times in my life. Not a lot, but just because I'm kind of a bull. And my portfolio is a huge bull. Now, this one loses you 9% versus losing 50% if you bought this not 8 months ago. And I would argue, this entry right here at 794, you have confirmation, but you're losing it a little today. Maybe wait till Monday. Let's see how the market does today and tomorrow. Maybe wait till Monday. Have you missed the chance? I would have an alert for when SQQQ gets you in on the 65-minute or when it gets you out. You can set up these alerts in TrendSpider. That's what I like about TrendSpider. You don't have to sit there and watch the chart. Set an alert. So, say you want to know when, the price closes above the 9-day. Just set that alert. And TrendSpider will text you. You don't have to sit there and watch it. Let's talk about scans. We went over Boeing and MPLX having buys, Walmart having a buy. One that I own that I did trim at 60 and it's come right back up. This is an example of any reaction in the market is an overreaction. This is Wells Fargo, okay? I said 60 was going to be a resistance level. It's trading at $60 right now. After earnings, you dipped down to 56. It's a nice 5-6%. It had a gap. You gap down. You filled that gap. Any reaction in the market is an overreaction. When sellers show up and you see that RSI down at 36 on a bank that is a quality bank, and banks, make no doubt about it, banks are in favor now. And when you see it, probably a good opportunity to buy. Did I buy? No. I sold a bunch before. I'm not adding to this one. The one that I'm adding to is Citibank. That one has a cross up as well. The entire list of stocks that show bullish tendency in the 4-hour algorithm and have entries, it's in the newsletter for free every day. I don't charge you for that, so you don't have to sign up for TrendSpider for that. But if you want to do your own stock research and stuff, yeah, TrendSpider is the way to go from a technical standpoint. Now, Citigroup, it had an entry here at 60, hasn't gotten you out, still has you in, but there's a second bullish tendency here based on the algorithm, and it says, hey, you can buy at 67. Now, I would argue this is an $80 stock. Why? That's the previous highs. You're about to get a golden cross. A golden cross is a cross of the 50-day up on the 200-day. And again, that's in the education section of the newsletter. It's all there for you if you don't know what that stuff is. But again, this provides you a really good look at a stock that I think has more room to run. And we go over book value all the time on that one. Now, one that got a leveraged ETFs. I want to explain this. Leveraged ETFs are ETFs that triple lever based on options and stuff. This is MAGQ. This is based on the MAG 7, okay? It got an entry here at $20.84. Understand that the MACD is low. If you think we are going to continue down on the MAG 7, MAGQ might be the way that you play this one. Now, it's only been out for 4 months. So the testing on this, you've had 4 positions, 1 a month. None have been good. So it's an upper left to bottom right because the MAG 7 has just killed it. So MAGQ, again, it's something that you want to watch. Again, remember, TrendSpider's on sale. It is just 1 day. So make sure that you get TrendSpider. It is on sale for $50 a month, 53, 58 if you want the enhanced. I think the enhanced has enough of an upgrade that you can get that one, and it's only $3 a month more. But again, you get 6 months for free. Advanced is $111 if you're new to that. Think about that one. I would argue, talk to TrendSpider a little bit, see what your thoughts are. It's double the price, but I do think for somebody who's new, that might take a little bit of pressure of learning stuff off. Because again, if you're learning technical, and I say this when I write to everybody who writes to me and says, hey, can I get your algorithms? When after they sign up, if you're going to sign up, by the way, the first thing that you have to do is you have to go to Linktree. You sign up right there. And then up here on the right, just send me your account information with TrendSpider and, confirmation that you signed up, and I email you back. But I tell everybody when I email them back, if you are new to actual technical trading, take it slow. Because not only are you going to be needing to learn technical trading, but you're going to need to learn a new software program, which is sometimes overwhelming. Don't expect to just sit down at TrendSpider and an hour later be able to push buttons like I do. There's a large setup process to get it to where you like it. There are so many options in there. I provide you in my newsletter and in the welcome letter, I provide you a link to where I give you everything that I set up on my screen. So you can set it up the way I have it. But if you don't like that, you can set it up the way you like it. It is fully customizable. I love this program. It's my number 1. And remember, number 2 is Seeking Alpha Premium. I love that quant. I'm not great at fundamentals. I know enough to make sure that I'm dangerous. But what I like is I can click on that any stock that I own. Okay? Say it's IWM. I don't know anything about IWM, but the quant says, you know what? It's at a pretty good price. They're going to show you the momentum. They're going to show you the expenses. They're going to show you the dividend. The risk, they say it's risky. Standard deviation, the median is 15, IWM 23. Short interest, 24%. So they're going to show you the good and the bad. And that's why I like Seeking Alpha Premium. And again, if you don't want to do any of the research and you just want a hand-picked portfolio, that's Alpha Picks. And that will guide you in a way that you can learn about the fundamentals. And then you get a free charting program. I mean, don't think that you have to spend a ton of money. You can get a free charting program, Thinkorswim, Fidelity Active Trader Pro. You can get any of those and chart yourself. Just, what TrendSpider gets you, it's on steroids, my 4-hour algorithm. I trust this thing a lot. I mean, look, Mag 7 is already turned over. We've already turned over. Apple is down. Qs are only up 0.22. The rotation is still in play. So it might be a tough, month or so. We're heading into a seasonally weak period. Market's open. It's just not holding up. Whenever these things open up, let's see, Nvidia is only up 1%. It's getting hard. Sellers are showing up. They're rotating out. We can look at IWM. IWM was up. IWM is up, let's see, 0.21. So it's up about the same as the NASDAQ. It is what it is. It might be tough. I would argue that the best way to close out this episode is a quote from Warren Buffett. I posted it on Monday, the Fear and Greed Index. We had entered greed. Be fearful when other people are greedy. Be greedy when other people are fearful. So if you're getting scared, go out and buy stuff. Again, if you're going out, if you're getting scared, go out and buy stuff. Because traditionally, nobody's lost on America. You bet on America. And that's exactly what Warren Buffett says. Bet on America. He says you're going to win. He goes, I would always choose to bet on America. So I'll leave it with that. Maybe the national anthem is playing where you are. Stand up, take your hats off. Salute to everyone out there. Thank you for listening. I will talk to you tomorrow. It's Friday. Talk to you later. Bye. Okay, let's see some of the comments. I didn't crash. That's good. Deckers is interesting. I mean, I would argue that, the valuation's tough on this one, especially with the consumer being kind of stretched. But everybody loves these freaking Hokas. Hokas gave me plantar fasciitis, I think, one time. So I've been reluctant to get back into them. June 8th, Amrita said, hey, sell it. I don't know. I mean, this whole segment, I didn't even know Deckers had Hoka, to be honest with you, Larry. I would say hold off. I know that MACD is down there. I know that RSI is down. You've got earnings coming up on July 25th. I would say hold off. I mean, that's just, again, if you're going to make it back up to all-time highs, let's take this out because this one doesn't matter anymore. If you're going to make it back to all-time highs with this one, you don't have confirmation, and that's what really worries me. But if you're going to make it back to all-time highs, it's 22% back to all-time highs. So the 50-day moving down, the 200-day, I mean, if that 50-day crosses, that's kind of super bearish. And look, you're still pretty stretched on the weekly. So I'd probably hold off. Again, I think the market, I'm concerned that the market is seeing this as the rotation and people are seeing this as a crash. Momentum is a strong force. So, morning, Mike. Meta's a good buy. I mean, yeah. I mean, Moneza, I think Meta's going to, participate in the election cycle with advertising. And I think with AI, people are moving more towards search there. If you haven't used their AI is really good. So I'd say it's a buy. It's just, it's getting a little bit of pushback. Mark Zuckerberg most likely is buying every freaking NVIDIA chip he can hold his hands on. It's going to come out that he spent like $50 billion on NVIDIA chips. That's going to be good for NVIDIA. Bad for Meta. Again, they haven't monetized AI yet. But I have a feeling that they are probably pretty damn close. If Zuckerberg and Jensen Huang are going on stage together, there's probably a pretty good chance something's happening. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Alexander. I bought a few shares of CHPT, not to hold for too long because my state just signed a contract with them. Be careful of that one. ChargePoint. Okay, I am an EV driver. I know ChargePoint. So you buy their hardware, and it costs a fortune to actually maintain it. You make very little money. So the state of Rhode Island most likely signed a contract. They'll make some money. I don't like this stock. As an EV owner, I don't like it. And the reason is that it's just the profitability. Look, their profit margin is 4.8%. Their levered free cash flow, their return on assets, minus 42%. So the levered free cash margin is minus 31%. I don't like it. I just don't like it. And again, you don't have a whole lot of momentum. I don't like that stock, Alexander, but if you have a plan to trade it, I would absolutely trade it. Yeah, and Chris, if it gets back there to 25, I'm buying at 25. I don't care if it goes to 20. I think it gets back to 25. So, Domino's isn't bad. I like Domino's. I mean, listen, in my world, Domino's every 6 months, I get the craving for just that dough. Don't ask me why. If you want Nancy Pelosi's stock market portfolio, it's in TrendSpider. So Alexander, if you have TrendSpider, you can do Pelosi tracker. See? Right here. It's got all the buys and sells. Right there. Visa. She just bought on Monday. She bought a bunch. You can put it up here too. I don't know how to do it, but you can put it up there. It's got unusual options. Got the strategy tester here. I mean, again, I don't follow anyone's trades, but Pelosi has been, it's her husband that trades, not her. But, he gets insider knowledge from her. So, I'm not dumb. She's just a criminal. Rocket Lab, I mean, that's just rockets will make money at some point in time. Rocket Lab, you make 58% in my algorithm. So I'm afraid of Boeing in that I don't know what these clowns are going to do. I'm not afraid of Boeing in that they will go bankrupt, but I am afraid of Boeing in that they just step on themselves. So AMD's soaring, I think. It was. I don't know exactly what happened. Yeah, it came back down. I mean, it just looks weak. I mean, everything, again, momentum is a strong force in the market, and it just looks weak. Okay. I think I followed up on everybody's requests. I gotta go do this thing. Let's see. Oh, I got some. Let's see. Portfolio wise, I'm probably down again. Let's hope I'm not down 6 figures again. I don't think I am. I'd be surprised if I'm. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down 0.43 while the market's up. That's Apple. Apple's down 0.86. Yeah. GitLabs is cool. I know some programmers that use GitLab on a regular basis. It's turning around. But again, when you look at the weekly, it just hasn't done much. I mean, are you getting back to the IPO? It kind of put in this nice, if I were to look at it, we talked about it yesterday, how 3 lines kind of put you in a little bit of a territory. I would say that's your top. Right now, I would say 100% that's your top. And it looks like you can trade it around this. The blue line's a 50-day, and your MACD's down low on the weekly. I mean, this candle is a 10% candle. I mean, this week it opened at 49.75. You're trading at 45. GitLab is one of those that it's a small cap. It's let's say its market cap is 8 billion. I think it's in the IWM. Let's see. Let's go to Gemini. Let's see if Gemini will try Gemini Advanced. I don't think I need Gemini Advanced. Is GLTB IWM ETF? Let's see. Yeah, it says look at the IWM. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how to find the entire list. Doesn't look like GitLab's in there. Not the top 10, but doesn't look bad. Just, again, I don't know enough about the company, but at some point, space is getting, this becomes probably an AI sales tool. It might be that way already. Don't chase a buyout rumor. The bull case for investing in GitLab, let's see. In DevSecOps platform aims to reduce complexity and build in security. The company's potential upside may justify its premium valuation. Yeah, they're just saying it's expensive. They put this particular one, put a buy at time of publication, 44.07. They're up 24%. This was June 11th. So, let's go to Finviz. Just go to finviz.com. If you don't have that one bookmarked, you ain't no trader. Finviz is the, I know traders who have Bloomberg terminals who still use Finviz. VXF. That's the extended market. VXF is everything, I think, except the S&P 500. So it includes, every name other than those names. You can trade it. My algorithm makes you just as much as the actual ETF over 2 years, 33%. So I don't know if it's extended, but that's quite a bump in an ETF. Market looks a little bit better. At least the core portfolio does. I'm still down though. Yeah. I'm not going poor. Okay, my koi drink is coming. I don't care about that. Okay. Yeah, Finviz. Use Finviz. Finviz is the greatest one. What else? Use AI, Gemini, or ChatGPT. Anything else that I have that might be useful for you? I have a folder of all my stuff. I really don't have pattern profits. I think a lot of these I look at a couple of times a year. Finviz I use on a daily basis.
Important security message.
No. That's no good. I think I may have just... We're going to delete that. Trading View. I think I use Trading View. This is the competitor to TrendSpider, and I used them. I didn't like it. it didn't provide me what I wanted. And I know TradingView is the largest one, but you can use that if you want a charting program. They have some decent free tools. I didn't like it. But FinViz is one you absolutely should have. Unusual options from bar chart I've got. I don't know. I mean, this one I'll look at every now and then. Clove, CLOV. This is Clover Health. Oscar's probably the same thing. Look at that. Poof. Let's look at Oscar. Leading down less. Oscar's just hit that and down. I mean, algorithm makes you 703% versus 234%. But look at that weakness. I mean, this one at 20, I know somebody got into that one thinking, oh my God, it's going to, hit. Lost 10% and it got you out. There hasn't been a lot of, and again, that 50-day moving down, I wouldn't invest in this one. But at some point in time, again, I think it ran up so far, it's just resetting itself on the weekly. Yeah, they don't time it. Jeff Bezos, he's not even timing it. He just told his traders sell when it hits 200. So the cap on Amazon is 200. Michael Dell is just selling, and I was an insider with a publicly listed company. And those there's no joke about that insider trading stuff. You have blackout periods that last for you might report earnings in March and your blackout period starts in January. So, you might have just reported in December and your blackout period lasts for like 2 weeks after, or a week after the earning. You can sell right after the earnings. Like a week after the earnings or something. But then you're in a blackout period. It's like a window of like 4 weeks, I think I had, during an entire quarter to sell. And when you decide, like Michael Dell is selling a bunch, he tries to sell, hey, I've got to, I want to buy, Jeff Bezos, I want to buy the Celtics. I need $10 billion in cash. Okay, let me sell $10 billion worth of stock. Dell's doing the same thing. He's funding a lifestyle, probably buying a bunch of jets, a bunch of houses, and, just stuff like that. United Health is holding up. Wow. I'm shocked at that one. Uber's down. Why is Uber down? It's just kind of trading sideways. Roblox is up another 1%. Hoof. Okay, it's 10 o'clock. I am out of here. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. See you. Bye.